The truth is an irony, just like animal farm. Justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence. Islamic leaders silence. Kings and queens silence. Traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are them go so confused the call. Now by area why no better. We are them go so confused the call. One guy's out here why no better. Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, he need it now, see what's I see so. Now your friend on a nine come at them. Only baby obeka na sembia. So I want one obet you too. Everybody was afraid. And when Tina to my cottage again nine. Once my boy dumping one and I see. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nanso bien person beka wasam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Akuku drofo nyina dalima. Enti who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to kroche mansa to me biaka kwabrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo when you know yet. Na so kutrata down na so bidia back or why no keke. I fene for be man mo pia for efo ne cross on my mo. Hanya safwe mo ayini. Akuku trofo nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi kachi sa odi oma opipi numa odi oma never shine na frafonsa. But who go tell the truth? TUC silence, even journalists silence. Oh, then who go say the truth? Right is right. Wrong is wrong, no matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you, now the person become your target. Jobless no they mean senseless. Poverty no they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Hello once again and good evening. You are most welcome to MyView show. Wherever you are, it's a pleasure to come your way once again, and you are with us live on today's Ghana News TV. Let me remind you once again that we are also live on Switch via satellite, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all on today's Ghana News TV. You can equally follow us on Twitter and TikTok, and also as a podcast on Anchor FM. It is a joy once again to come your way this evening on the show, and we have a lot to discuss. There has been a series of headlines in the course of the week and over into the weekend. Headlines such as investigate the current security situation in Adar West, IGP told. Very disturbing moments for the people of Adar West. A demand for justice for their chief. What has been the issue? There has been a series of constant clashes in the communities in the Adar West district following government lease of the Single Lagoon to a private salt mining company, Electrochem Ghana Limited. And that led to a lot of disturbances. The chief of the town has been molested and his household shot at. That is not enough. Many folks in the town were left in pools of blood, while women and children have deserted the town and run for their lives, run for a cover. What is the situation? What is the root cause of this disturbing situation that we find ourselves in Ada West? Wherever you are, we encourage you to join us to express your view on what is going on in Mother Ghana, and then together with the view of our guest this evening, we will see what we can put across for the attention of the IGP, for the attention of the Speaker of Parliament, and for the attention of all the security experts in the country. Once again, you are welcome and stay tuned.
Waiting there happy for Africa. Dusty old men holding on to power, leading the people to where the grave. Wicked criminal leaders. See them a come, them coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. But you a thief, you know say you a thief. Thief President, why you thieving so? Thief man, why you thief so? The people they must suffer, but you don't care so. Thief man, why you thief so? I see the people crying every day, yo. They want food, them can't find. I see the youth looking for a job, oh, every way, them can't find. Mr. President, him just barely food, oh. Him and the family, they no suffer, oh. Suffer, no poor man they suffer, oh. Suffer, rich man go they suffer. Suffer, no poor man they suffer, oh. Suffer, rich man they suffer, lie. See them a come, them coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. Why you a thief? You know say you a thief. Thief President, why you thieving so? Thief man, why you thief so? The people they must suffer, but you don't care so. Thief man, why you thief so? Mr. President, why you dey lie so? Before election, you tell me you be angel. When you sick, you run go a London. When we sick, oh, we die for Kablevu. Mr. President, why you wicked so? Tell me how you dey sleep at night, oh. See them a come, they coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. But you a thief, you know say you a thief. Thief President, why you thieving so? Thief man, why you thief so? The people they must suffer, but you don't care so. Thief man, why you thief so? This is Mr. Traitor, Master of sleeping. This is Mr. Traitor, Master of sleeping. Yarambarayi Fiafiwo Alakpatowo Nayeruyaya.
Once again, you are welcome back to the show. We are live on MyView show on today's Ghana News TV. On the disturbances in the Ada West constituency and the Greater Accra region, we want to express our views this evening. And together, we have no other person but a security consultant, Mr. Richard Kumado, popularly known or currently now known as the Village Crusader. We want to have him on this show to express his opinion and his views on what is going on. Honorable Village Crusader, you are most welcome to the program.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I hope you are doing very well this evening.
We cannot sleep. Our people are under attack, and it's a personal and a corporate responsibility to see the delivery of our people and let the perpetrators be brought to book.
Wow. And I'm pretty sure we have just read some of the headlines that ran across the media landscape over the few days, where we have a call on the IGP to investigate the situation in Adan West, very disturbing moments for the people of Adan West, a demand for justice for their chief, and what have you. What is the current situation? What is the situation on the ground?
As we speak, the chief is not yet back to the community. Peace has not been restored. Many of the youth who have run away and the women are not yet back to the community. The chief is still in hiding. And we are just praying that the call on the IGP to come to our aid will be yielded to. Adan people are Ghanaians, and the prerogative of every government is to ensure public safety guarantees. The people of Adan deserve better, and the IGP must yield our call and come. We are also calling on good men of good conscience and the Speaker of Parliament for all of them to come to our aid at Adan, because it's looking very disturbing moment for them.
What is the main problem? Because I chanced something somewhere that government's lease of a lagoon for a private sector salt mining company, Electrochem Ghana Limited, could it have been the situation? Is that the cause of the disturbances?
Okay, so when you take Kablevu for instance, Kablevu is on the coastal belt and is within the Sege Adan West district, the Sege constituency. There's a population of about 2,000 people. They live on their own land. The land was owned by their fathers and mothers and ancestors. They have no business with anybody. If you know the history of Adan, Adan lands are not owned by the clan. So no clan has authority or a responsibility to give my father's land to anybody. So there is this investor within the Adan vicinity that is terrorizing people. The first instance happened at a place called Tofloko or Tofloko Salom and Luwo and Lufenya. They are all towns within Adan or Adan West district. The pretense was that they touched some items of the investor. Having said that, the people of Kablevu had visitor from somebody and said that somebody said we should come and do something on your land. And the chief said, let me consult my people and I'll get back to you guys on the 15th of October, so that he could call a community developer and said, we have these visitors from this person. On Wednesday, on Thursday when they slept, they were laid ambush and the attackers attacked them. And for some of us who come from the community, what we are asking is that, is the land for Kablevu not for them? Don't they have the right to decide who come onto their land? Don't they have the right to decide who should assess their land? And which court of competent jurisdiction has pronounced them guilty? What is the crime of Kablevu people? And who committed atrocities at Kablevu? These are the questions we are asking.
And we'll get to that point, but I'm still finding that difficult. People want to understand. We all know when land is being issued or land is being given to a private developer, or even for government to issue such a lease, there is this community engagement. At this point, are we suggesting that there hasn't been any government community engagement before the lease was granted to this private mining firm?
My ancestors come from Jelukope and they settled at Adan. So I even attended Adan Secondary School. I've lived in Adan. I'll be 50 years very soon. The lands are ours. Government have no jurisdiction over our land. And if government wants to give our land to somebody, the reasonable thing to do is to consult it. We've not had any consultation from government. The people of Kablevu have never said to me, government sends somebody to them. And so that is illegality. And we are not looking at who is a consultant or who is an investor or not. The question I am asking as an advocate for the people of Kablevu is that who attacked the people of Kablevu and what is their crime? If they live on their land and for one reason or the other, somebody needed their land for something, then the proper thing to do is not to attack them. But to get people wounded and others are even dead now, and the chief cannot come back to his hometown, children cannot go to school. That is the most important thing in the whole equation. The people are not going to school. Ghana Education Service is not going to grant them waiver, and they are frustrated. So we are asking questions on behalf of the people of Kablevu.
Now, we're asking questions for the people of Kablevu, and we are looking for justice for them. You have already petitioned the Speaker of Parliament, and we do know that the Parliament has an oversight responsibility on the security of the country. We're hoping that we could get something good out of it. So far, with your interaction from the parliamentary interaction point of view, do you see any support coming from that point?
So far, there have not been any support to my knowledge. I think the media has done well. My friends and brothers and sisters in the media have created a space for the discussions to be taking place. I've just dropped off the phone where the speaker, the parliamentarian from WA have been on the advocacy like what I have done, speaking for his people, because there has been some mystery deaths in WA where body parts have been stolen across the country. Now, when we all spoke, the IGP led a call and dispatched 300 police officers to WA. He himself has landed in WA this morning, and they have been able to unravel 2 dead bodies and where they were buried. As to why he's not coming to Adan, I don't know. And as to why he's pretending as if he did not know of the atrocities at Adan, I don't know. But what we can do is to call out the IGP that once he leaves WA, he should please come to Adan, because that is his prerogative. He is to maintain law and order. And where there's a breakdown in security, it's only good and better that the IGP must come to the fore and speak to the people of Kablevu and find the perpetrators. That's the only reason why we are calling on him. And we want justice for the people of Kablevu.
Yes. Whilst waiting for the IGP to come down and then try to find a solution to this issue, someone is asking, now within that catchment area, do we have the police service station in any of those vicinities?
It was the police who supervised the atrocities that happened at Kablevu. You'll be surprised to know that it was the police that supervised it. It was the police that supervised, they supervised the atrocities that took place at Kablevu. The police, some police officers came out to say they don't know who committed atrocities at Kablevu. I have been a law enforcement officer for almost 30 years now. I have worked with the Secret Service for all these years. I have done so much for this country. I started serving this country from 1996. My people deserve to be served. It's the duty and the responsibility of the police to look for criminals who commit atrocities. To the extent that they are not looking for them, it's either they are accomplices, they know who they are and they are friends, or they themselves took part in the shooting that took place at Kablevu on the 8th of September, early in the morning. And the police cannot be exonerated from this one. I think that should be one of the reasons why the IGP is running away from Kablevu. If the IGP thinks his men are clean and he thinks his conscience is clean, he should come to the aid of Kablevu people and let justice prevail in this particular matter. Other than that, a day is going to come when the blood that they have shed, the blood will begin to ask for justice. And we will not be tolerating people who will come to us and say, have mercy. There will be no mercy on that day because it is blood they are dealing with. And we are sounding the warnings today. It is the same thing that happened in Niger Delta. And today the place has become uncontrollable. Let people who have ears, let them hear. And let people of good conscience come to the aid of Kablevu people. They need help. All manner of help is needed in Kablevu. Children are not in school. People are not working. And their land is being stolen from them. And they are being brutalized and humiliated and bastardized on their own land. And I think it's unacceptable and it's dehumane.
That is a very terrifying situation. and the picture that you have just painted. Well, we can really imagine the impact of what is going on, because if schools are closed down, and obviously there's no way, but the kids who are in SS3 and JSS3 and the rest will still write the same examination as their colleagues all over the country, then it's a serious problem. But the clash that happened on the 8th of September, you woke up to that clash. Was there a confrontation?
No, people just walk into the chief's palace and they start shooting. They shot about 50 shots. The chief alone received about 50 gunshots. His son, as you speak now, it will take a miracle for him to come back to life. And the pictures are sent across. You saw it. People's head got busted, their hands, their nails, everything. They just laid an ambush for them. Like, it's like a military conflict. And people prepare to come and shoot at them. And it was more than like a movie. And they were not prepared for this. The element of surprise caught them. And that is the other side of the whole story that is difficult to say sometimes without getting emotional, because these are people who live on their land. They have their animals and they have their husbands and wives and in-laws and graves and people who are sick, and they live there comfortably without getting involved in anybody's business. So why this level of atrocity will be committed against the people of Kablevu, and the whole nation is playing dumb as if they haven't heard it? We are sounding alarm bells again that people of Kablevu has been traumatized and they have been brutalized, and somebody must hear their story and come to their aid.
Yeah, somebody must hear their stories and come to their aid. You made a very fantastic statement where people are being brutalized and those in high authority seems to be quiet about the whole thing. Well, we saw a similar thing during the 2020 elections where 8 people were killed, and even the president did not find it expedient just to even commiserate with the families of those who died in the course of that election. Well, we said we do not want to draw the conclusion that probably it is one of the traits of the government of the day. But let's take a step backward. This private salt mining company, Electrochem Ghana Limited, do you have any idea as to who owns it?
No, I understood. Understood is owned by one guy whose name I don't want to mention because he doesn't deserve my leads to mention his name. He's nobody. In the scheme of affairs, if he's the owner and is behind what is happening, he's nobody. And anything that has a beginning has an end. I am a trained security professional, and death doesn't scare me. I'm not scared of death. What scares me is the level of stupidity and foolishness of some people. And whoever owns that company, if they think this is the best way of expanding their territory for whatever concession they give them, it's not true. And I can also tell you on authority, when you come to Adan, I come from 2 tribes. One is called Kogbo, and the other one is called Tekwebiawe. The Songo Lagoon belongs to the people of Tekwebiawe. And I'll soon become the clan head of the Tekwebiawe clan. And you don't become a Tekwebiawe through sex, you become Tekwebiawe through blood. It's a blood clan something, and there's a succession plan. In Rawlings' time, the brief history of this Songo thing is that in Rawlings' time, somewhere in 1986 thereabout, one of our aunties who is pregnant, called Margaret, was shot dead by some criminals who want to have a bite of the Songo Lagoon. And President Rawlings, in his wisdom, said, in spite of all this, I'll hold the Songo in trust of the people of Tekwebiawe. When you hold something in trust for me, you don't give it out without my consent.
Yeah.
It is not yours. It's a lie. It is not yours. You only hold it in trust. And you are holding it in trust because I'm a little baby. Now I am a grown-up person and I bite bones, so I can take my stuff back from you. And you don't pass my back to give it to any of your cronies or any of the people within your criminal gangs and said you have given my stuff to them. I have the right to go for my stuff back. That is one aspect of the coin. The second aspect is that all documents I have cited, that means that where Kablevu is in particular has nothing to do with the Songo Lagoon. Kablevu people have lived on their land for years. They have buried their great grandfathers and mothers there. Where they are has nothing to do with the Songo Lagoon. And so for somebody to extend their territory or to go brutalize them, we don't know whether it has something to do with the Songo or somebody just want to kill the people of Kablevu to steal their land. But if somebody is speaking in direct context with the Songo, then they don't know their history. This same Songo, many years ago, some people want to take it from the people of Tepebiawe. The case went to The Hague in Holland. For 27 years, The Hague ruled that undisputable, the Salt Lagoon belonged to the people of Tepebiawe. And it's a non-history, so nobody can change history. We know our history, and we are not babies. We are knowledgeable people. And it's just one aspect of what is happening. But the people of Kablevu, the reason why some of us are interested in the people of Kablevu is that I come from Goy, and Goy is just a few stones thrown away from where Kablevu is. And once they move from Kablevu, they might come to my hometown. But I have families in Kablevu, and I will defend what is right, and I will defend what is good, particularly when my blood is involved and humanity is under attack. We cannot keep quiet. We are asking questions who attack the people of Kablevu, and Kablevu people need justice. If it means that we'll take this case to the United Nations Security Council, some of us are prepared to do that. Until justice comes to Kablevu, let nobody think they are free out of these atrocities and out of this crime they have committed against Black people who live at Kablevu.
I pray and hope that you are gathering enough evidence so that if you have to move higher, because someone just drew my attention, or one of the comments, that in Ghana, there is no way we can get justice for such atrocities. And are you ready to go higher to the National Criminal?
We have a lot and many more documentations on that. After the interview, I'll share some of them with you. And those are just little of many of the things we have. These things are properly documented by the lawyers President Lawrence gave the Tepebiawe clan, who have been to The Hague. Some of them are still alive. The 3 lawyers that represented the Tepebiawe clan are alive. Our grandfathers are alive. In recent atrocities within the Sege constituency and our Down West constituency, we have documentations of some of the heinous crimes that have happened so far, and we are ready to keep them and take them anywhere, any day, or to share it with people who want to hear our story and come to our aid.
Now, let's look at it. You just made a statement about the MP for Wahoo actually also called on the IGP and the rest on the mysterious deaths that are occurring within the Wa Township, and the IGP has found his way there. Honestly speaking, the IGP has been very proactive. Almost every crime that comes out, we heard of human beings that were killed and chopped and put in fridge in Sunyani area. He was quickly at that point. We heard of clashes in the Upper East region. He was at that point. And this incident in Adan West started somewhere on the 8th, or the clash actually occurred on the 8th of September. Until now, the IGP has not even shown any concern. I have not read any statement anywhere concerning the IGP expressing his concerns about what is going on there. Do we see how do you see his position?
I don't know. I don't know those who are conspiring against the people of Kablevu. I don't know those who are conniving against the people of Kablevu. I don't know why the whole nation has become dumb, and all of a sudden they can't hear, they can't see. I'm not surprised because of the hypocrisy and the dishonesty. I'm used to this kind of hypocrisy and dishonesty. I've seen it throughout my whole life and my career as a security intelligence officer. But we are hopeful that we will overcome one day. It will only take one man to bring out atrocities in Kablevu, and that is the advocacy I'm doing. And I know one day the God himself and our gods and our ancestors will speak for us, and we will get help one day. But until then, we are just calling on the appropriate authorities to do what is right and to see the people of Kablevu as human beings. You don't necessarily need to be an Akan before law enforcement efforts have been extended to you. And this is an IGP for everybody. when I was serving this country, I served everybody, including the Akans. I served them so well. I am not Akan and I don't want to be one for now. But hey, I understand the hypocrisy. All what I don't know is that who is against us and who is conspiring against us. But once we have life and we have hope, we have voices and we have eyes to speak for our people until they receive justice for whatever atrocity has been committed against them.
Kablevu is under, is that a Sege constituency or which
constituency? That's the Sege constituency.
And we have an MP from that area.
Yeah, we have an MP.
So far, I haven't had any commentary. I don't know whether I've been left behind.
I haven't heard the MP speak on this matter. There have been many matters he has been quiet on it. There have been many matters we've not heard his voice. Even when the tiger waves hit many of the communities along the coast, we haven't heard from him. We just don't know those who are against us. And we just don't know those who are not speaking for us, what their intentions are. And we don't know those who ask people not to speak on our case. But thank God there's Richard Kumado. And thank God there will be many Richard Kumados after I'm dead and gone. And thank God that we are alive and we have a voice. And thank God for making this platform to giving us very laudable, and we are grateful and we appreciate it, to showcase the case of our people at Kablevu and to speak for humanities in general. I have just dropped off the phone speaking for the people of Wa, and it's yielding results. I was at a Dra, I was at a Kranza, Techimansat, I was there. And I have always been there for everybody, including governments, NDC, MPP. And I just came from Kenya for their elections, and I have been everywhere. So I don't know why my people are being disrespected and nobody is coming to their aid and nobody is valuing my people. But we will not relent on our efforts, and we will not lose hope at all. We are in it together and we are in it to win.
You will surely win at the end of the day. You also, from where we sit, and from the look of things, you have to take your personal security to very well, because right now you can't even tell who is for you or who is against you, because the chief who should have been the forefront, now he is completely out of touch. We are praying that he's even safe and he will return very soon. And those people who really matter, who should be speaking up, they are all quiet. You have we have a DC within the catchment area, definitely, but we haven't seen anything from that point. We don't want to read political lines into it, but we will surely get to that point if there is a need. Just take a little break. The Village Crusader is on the show. We're just discussing what is the disturbances within the Adan West communities, especially Kablevu. And what we want to do now is just to read the commentaries from our viewers from wherever you are, and then when we come back, we'll look at what steps needs to be taken to ensure that safety returns to this community. From Patience Darko, good evening. I'm watching you live from Hamburg. Patience, we are very grateful. You are always with us every Monday. Sweet Mother Tete, good evening. Good evening to you, Sweet Mother. I hope you're doing very good. And thanks for joining us. Oh, Comrade Richard, watching you live from Bielefeld, Germany. We are very grateful that you are part of the show this evening. Viz Ghana, watching from Edukrom, Ekwapim. Please ask your guest, is it possible they can take the case up to International Criminal Court? Since it's possible they won't get justice in Ghana. Definitely, he just mentioned that they are putting their evidence together, and wherever they need to get justice, they would. And I know together with all of us, we will have to support them. The people really need justice. They need security for themselves and to live their normal life within the country. Osei Superior, in Africa, natural resource rather impoverish the people. God save our continent. Watching from Barcelona, Spain. That is very true. Our natural resources, no, it rather puts us off. Brimpong once again, watching from Warsaw, Portland. Please, I will encourage you to continue to work for your people. The giving and then the police chief doesn't care about, doesn't care about them. God will reward you in future. Great Crusader is very grateful for your encouraging words, and definitely he would continue with this crusade. Conte Nana says, watching on YouTube from Poland, it seems to me Ghana is a failed state. Nothing seems to be working under this evil government. I think I shared these sentiments with you. Nana Tefremu, watching from Tatali, Northern Ghana. Mr. Host, it seems you are the only stranger in Ghana. Akufo-Addo doesn't care. He is only interested in traveling and bathing on air with Sewa Brony. Shame. Well, that is quite true because he is not even interested in the welfare of the people of the country. He's only interested and priding himself by winning elections and looking forward to the next elections. That is where we find ourselves as Ghana. Kweku Adi says, I love the defensive spirit of your guest, watching from Amsterdam, Holland. We are very grateful, Mr. Adi. Oh, Uncle Umar Dennis, watching you live from Bielefeld. We are very grateful, and greetings to all the people in Bielefeld. Ose Superior once again, if the MP is not visible, please, Mr. Kumado, contest him and you will win. We pray so because the MP has to speak for his people. That is a mouthpiece of the community, your own constituency. People are being killed and we are not hearing from the MP. That is a serious indictment on his office. But I pray that we will get to that point. We will all encourage Kumado to contest, definitely, because you must be a defender of the people. Oh, Togbesai, will Akufo-Addo be quiet on this if it should happen in Achim? My brother. If it is Achim, he will send military men to go and settle it, not even the police. Gladys Amwa, watching live from Mannheim, Germany. We have to push the case forward. We can't be intimidated in our own country. Well, Gladys, we are very grateful that you've joined us today, and I hope you'll be part of us come next Monday. So basically, these are a few of our commentary from both Facebook, from YouTube, and wherever you are watching us from. Viz Ghana, his own campaign is on fire. Ha! Is that it? Well, let's see. Maybe because he's out for the Queen's funeral, when he comes back, he'll find a solution to it. We are very grateful to all of you for joining us this evening, and we pray that you will always be part of the show every Monday. So we'll come back to with our guest, the Village Crusader, and then we see the way forward. Mr. Kumadu, here we are. There is a very beautiful comment. I don't know if you got it. It's saying that the MP is supposed to be the spokesperson for his people within the constituency. Unfortunately, we aren't hearing anything from the MP. And they are encouraging you that if the MP is not visible, please, Mr. Kumadu, contest him and you will win. So totally, there is a support. But for now, I think you are more interested in the peace and security of your people because they have to live to be able to vote for you to be an MP, should that even come up. So here we are. What is the way forward? You have started the process. You have at least media encounter. You have gone across the length and breadth of the country for those who want to hear and those who want to see the pictures they should have seen and they're ahead anything. Across the world, because we far away here, we have picked up all that information. What are the next steps in the few days going?
The next step is that we are speaking with some people from America who also have some projects at Kablevu that has been destroyed. We have Canadians coming to build library for the students at Kablevu. We have other people out of their own benevolence came to Adam West, particularly the coastal belt, to invest into some non-profitable agencies just to help improve health and education within the vicinities. We are speaking to some other people to partner with them to take the matter upwards. If it means we will go to The Hague, like some of our viewers said, we will go there. If it means we need to champion it to the UN Security Council, we will go there. These are some of the things we have in the pipeline, in addition to compiling evidence, the necessary relevant evidence against the atrocities of what has happened to the people of Kablevu. Personally, we will not stop. We will continue the advocacy. Then we will keep on engaging people, praying and hoping that one day somebody will hear our cry and come to our aid. And I have also been educating the people along the coast and within the Sege constituency on issues of personal security, public safety, what their responsibilities are as citizens of Ghana, what they must do, what they must not do. Coming Saturday, I'll be at Wokumagbe. It's also one of the coastal bears as the speaker or the guest of honor at one of their festivals. I'll use those platforms offered to me to make a case for the people of Kablevu. And as we plan and help to develop our people, we are also interested in their welfare and their well-being. And I'm grateful for all those who have worked and for their encouragement and for their kind words towards us at Kablevu. We are most grateful. And let our God and our ancestors richly bless them.
Wonderful. Let me just take a step backwards. It escaped me. It's in the district. We have a district security committee headed by the district chief executive or metropolitan chief executive. I don't know the status of where Kablevu falls within. Have there been any signal from that committee?
No. You know, I've been one of the people who have always advocated that it's important not to have politicians at the helm of affairs of security. You have a politician who doesn't know anything. They don't know anything. They are not resourceful at all. And you place them at the head of a sensitive institution like DISEC. Recently, I have to be speaking on an issue on TV and radio about a case between the police and the Lembele DCE, who the police suspect was the guy behind the Galamsey and the excavator. And these are the things they do. And it's unfortunate we have such people in authority or in a position of power where they need to be defending and speaking for their people, but they come for the booty and leave the people to themselves. And nobody cares about anybody in this country anymore. And it's so shocking and it's so worrisome that we'll have people at the helm of affairs and they just don't know their responsibility, or it's a share of wickedness or ignorance. And that level of naivety and ineptitude may and can lead to chaos within the communities, because when the people are pushed to the wall, they only have one choice than to react. And the reaction, action and reaction are equal, but they can be on opposite sometimes.
Sure. And from your security point of view, or expert point of view, knowledge point of view, where this situation is going to, is not leading to a more dangerous point, because if the security services, the police, are supposed to protect the citizens, and the citizens are not getting the protection from them, and they decide to take their own security into their own hands to protect themselves, are we not heading to the fights that we've been seeing in our neighboring countries like Nigeria and others, where people have to get sophisticated weapons and then the entire security system will break down?
Definitely. I agree with you perfectly. And that is why consciousness and common sense must prevail. And once the people are pushed to the wall and nobody is coming to themselves, they're going to arm themselves. And once they arm themselves, a street fight, nobody wins and nobody loses. And you cannot say you are law enforcement, so you have an upper hand. They could create problem for anybody, any day, anytime. And that is why we need to act responsibly. And we need to act with cautiousness and the agency to come to the aid of the people, to sympathize with them, to educate them, and to provide for them and reclaim their land for them. Or somebody should be held accountable and responsible for whatever has happened to them. It's so important, and that cannot be washed away or swept under the carpet. It's a very bad precedent, and there are a lot of precedences we can talk about, and that is what I don't want my people to get involved into, and that is why people must come to our aid for once.
Wonderful. And definitely people have to come to your aid. We don't want to get to that point, because once we get to that point, currently, you can just say that the security in our country is totally kaput, is completely gone, because if now we have people being killed. This is the 10th watchman that was killed just last week. 10th, 1, 2, 3, up to 10. And it's always like that the incident occurs, then the next minute, then the police appears at that point. What informs them? Our security system is completely off the system, off the hook. We cannot blame ourselves. Well, the government of the day is in there. But what would be the steps? What would you want to tell the people of Kablevu as at now, and any other person watching you? I want us to say a few words on that, and then I'll bring an issue where you have been vindicated, so that at least everybody will know that your points are always from your experience and expert knowledge.
Definitely, I want to say to the people of Kablevu and to all Black people and all persons listening to me that we need to have confidence in ourselves. We need to act responsibly. We need to be proactive, and we must come to the help of humanity. And that is why we are living. Today, they buried the queen. She has ruled her people and governed for 70 years. And all her life has been a life of service. People may disagree with her, but she served her people in their interest. And when we are placed in a position of authority, it's about service and leadership. And through serviceable leadership, we will develop our communities. And for me, that is the prerogative and that's a priority to me. So people of Kablevu have hope and be hopeful that one day, very soon, something good may come. It's not all lost. Today you are down and you are beaten, but tomorrow God will come to your aid. And somebody somehow will appear on the scene like the way Richard Kumado has appeared. And that may bring a good news. And that will bring a seizure to many of these things. And let Black people love themselves and see themselves as one people with common destiny. That's the only way we will develop. Division doesn't help anybody.
Thank you very much. The people of Kablevu are definitely very grateful for the efforts that you are putting in place for their defense. And the last time we met on this same show, we were talking about the security structure of our country. You had a concern with the structures that we are operating in Ghana. Several security couples. You have the BNI security. You have the Minister of National Security. You have security advisor and all those things. You had issues with that. Now, there was one thing that we looked at, and I think it has come out to flag the faces of every Ghanaian, and it was about Aisha, the Galamsey Queen. You have the view that the situation in which Aisha was handled was not appropriate. And I think from what we are getting now, you have been vindicated because now there are several stories whether she was repatriated, she was deported, she escaped, or what have you. And I think that it's a credit to your expert knowledge in this at this point. What do you have to say about it?
It's not just that, but when we start speaking on it, the first day they went to court, if you look at the charge sheet that they went to court with, the lawyer for Ashawan said it's a small case.
Yeah.
Because it's very laughable and funny. So we began to speak about it, and I'm glad to hear that they have amended the charge sheet, and at least they have put in 2 additional ones. They have benefited from my knowledge. We've always been there to speak for them. Nobody pays for advising them and for saying it the way it is. But they will never own up in public. And that's part of the hypocrisy and the dishonest nature of what they do. If you look at the security structure, that is why the president is confused. And that level of naivety is problematic. You know, the president was at home. He didn't go to West FM where Kofi Gama will ask him tough questions. He went to an MPP radio station and he decided to speak about Sawabroni, or not Sawabroni, Aisha 1.
Yeah.
And when he was speaking about Aisha 1, he knew exactly what he wanted to say. But then he got messed up in the middle of the whole storm. And I think that has affected his credibility a little bit. But this job, I have done it for almost 30 years. And I've always been vindicated. This particular one, I think I need to buy a bottle of champagne and visit the grave of my grandmother, who is happy bringing me up. And I'm so proud of my grandmother, at least once again, that I have been vindicated in the way they handled this Ashawan issue.
Wonderful. Time is fast running. But let's look at this issue. What would be your stake on the fight of Galamsey? What has gone wrong? What has not gone right?
No, I think it was a lip service. Yeah, it was a lip service, and the media came after them. They were exposed, and they are running helter skelter. You remember the whole Professor Fripon Boy thing got messed up, and he was kicked out. I don't think there's any critical effort to fight this Galamsey. I don't think we have the strategy right. Many of the commentary that have come from politicians, particularly the ruling government, Party Hiansika, and all those things, has gone a long way to dent the fight. If they have made it a national security crisis and the politicians take their hands off, the military and the security agencies would have dealt with it by now. But they keep.
Well, I think we have a technical hitch. Is our producer? Kindly check and then let's see what happens. We just want to, our time is far running, but then we want him to just express the way forward on the fight of Galamsey. Galamsey indeed has caused a lot of mess in Ghana. Our water bodies are all gone. Our foodstuff, because once the chemicals find their way into the food chain, it becomes poison in our system. And that has resulted in unnecessary sicknesses, diseases, and deaths. We need to look at it. The youth do not have work to do. They find themselves being used by the politicians to go into the same Galamsey to produce money for the politicians and for the youth who are jobless. And at the end, it is all of us that are affected. Our water bodies are gone. Our foodstuff. For a lay person who does not realize the impact of the chemicals from Galamsey, just ask yourself, when you go and buy tomatoes and keep it in your room, does it last for 5 days? There are those days you could buy tomato without putting in a fridge, put it in your room, and can go for 5 days. Today, buy tomatoes, buy pepper, and put in your room. Within 3 days, it starts getting rotten. It tells you that there are certain chemicals in the system. Even though we know the use of fertilizers, agricultural inputs also has an impact, the issue of chemicals, heavy metals being coming as the result of Galamsey activities is more critical to our health than any other thing. The chemicals used find a way into our bloodstreams through the food chain, and even lactating mothers, that is mothers that are feeding, you transfer the same impact through breast milk to the children. And if the child has not got a good immune system, then some diseases could come in and you could lose your child. That is the seriousness of Galamsey. Whatever be the case, we need to survive economically. The economy of our country today is down in the drains, and everybody is crying for an alternative government to take over. And if there's any alternative government in waiting, then it must be a government that has shown evidence of what is capable of doing and what it has done before. Ghana, certainly we have just the two political parties that are running, and that is the NDC and the MPP. MPP is ruling today. NDC is in opposition, and NDC is providing alternatives as how best the country could be ruled. While the position of the party in government, the MPP, is all about breaking the aid. That is their concern. Their concern is not about the welfare of the people of the country. Their concern is about how to retain power come 2024. The duty lies with you. Your own security is in your hands. Your health is in your hands. Where do you find your solution? Think about it, and think about the next election, 2024. Whatever process that you need to be part of the elections in 2024, please go ahead and do it. Remember, when the wise decides to stay away from political activities, the foolish will always take the lead and rule you, and that is not what we want. Gladys, once again, things are really falling apart under this ruling government. Certainly. So Gladys, you have a role to play. Ensure that the government is no longer in the system. Visit Ghana once again. His own Equiapim is on fire. Okay, if your Equiapim is on fire, I pray that by the time he returns from the Queen's funeral, he will be able to find solution to it. But wherever you are, it's been a joy coming your way this evening on the program MyView. We're looking at the atrocities that have been meted out to the people of Kablevu. It is their turn today. Do not see it as their turn. Once it goes from them and nothing happens, it could move to you. And once it moves to you, remember, all other people who ought to have supported you or who would support you would have been gone by then. Do not sit aloof. Think about it. Think about your future and think about the well-being of Ghana and think about election 2024. You have the power to do a change and to bring a change. And definitely, you need to bring that change. You have a role to play. Thank you very much. And hopefully, come next week, Monday, we will meet again to share our views and take your views as well and a view of our guest speaker. Enjoy the evening and have a blessed week.
The Socialist Movement of Ghana announces the program for the celebration of this year's Founders' Day, the birthday of Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The celebration starts on Tuesday, September 20, 2022, with a placard parade from the Black Star Square to the Bank of Ghana headquarters on the Professor Atta Mills High Street from 10 a.m. On Wednesday, September 21, there will be a public forum at the headquarters of the Socialist Movement of Ghana on the George Walker Bush Highway at 4 p.m. The event will be chaired by Professor Ikuabu Chum of the University of Cape Coast. The speakers will be Professor Raymond Atuguba of the University of Ghana and Comrade Kwesi Pratt Jr., General Secretary of the Socialist Movement of Ghana. Join us in exposing the lies of history about the independence and the heroes and sheroes of Ghana. The general public, progressive and socialist forces are all invited.
Mampam also untie so dogo binwa bem mampam also untie nani amuka nyina guna swati move swara mampam also untie